In today's episode, we are going to create this photo manipulation with this image coming up. Hey, what's up? This is Harshvardhan and welcome to another superb episode. In today's episode, we are going to create this photo manipulation with this simple image and we are going to transform this into this stunning piece of digital artwork. And if you want to take your photography and Photoshop skills to a whole new level, just subscribe to this channel, and to subscribe just click the big red button below this video and don't forget to click the bell icon as well. That way you will not miss any video from this channel. Having said that, let's get started. So first of all, we are going to extract this wrecked aeroplane. So we'll select the quick selection tool and we'll make a selection of this area, and we'll zoom in, and we'll, by pressing Alt or Option, we are going to paint over here, and that's going to subtract the selection from this area. And you can even use the pen tool, but here I'm using the quick selection tool. And in this case you don't have to be that accurate, or you don't have to be that perfect. Just make a rough selection, since this one is wrecked one, so even if you will miss some part or the small part, that won't make any difference. And here again we need to press Alt or Option to remove this area from the selection. Since we are selecting the background or the sky in this, that's why we need to press Alt or Option to remove certain part of this extra selection. So let me just quickly do it and let's come back. And I have done this selection, and let me press this mask button and press Ctrl I to invert the mask, and you can see now we have got the selection, but here we have certain problems. Alright, so we are going to fix it. So we'll select the brush tool, which has little bit hardness, or will increase the hardness to 83%, increase the opacity 100%, and with the white color we are going to paint on this. So we'll click here and click here once again, and once again click here and click here. Okay, click here and click here. So this is how we can refine the selection, since we are painting with the white color, so that is going to be visible. And if you want to remove certain area, then we need to switch back it to the black color, and that way it is going to remove that area. Alright, and now press and drag it over here on this background. This is our main background. So I'll right click and select Convert to Smart Object and press Ctrl T Command T to resize it and drag it inside to make it of something like this, and let's place it on a proper position. So maybe over here, I think that's fine. Press Enter and zoom in, and let me just save it quickly. And let me just close it or save this as a PNG file for later use. It's going to take little time. And let me purge all my RAM or the data so that I get some free RAM. And let's go to place linked. Let me bring in the boy. So let me bring in the clouds. So first of all, we are going to prepare the background. So let me bring the sky or the clouds over here, and let me place it over here and press enter. Bring it down, and here we'll create a mask, and we need to remove it from the bottom. So let me just rename it ship. I know it's airplane, but I'm just pointing it at ship. And go to this gradient tool and click and drag it up. And what it is going to do, it is going to remove the sky from that area, and until we see something like this, let me turn this off to see the result and create another blank layer. And using the brush tool, increase its size. Make sure you select the softest brush with 0 hardness, and let's take a sample from here, and let me just make the opacity around 10% and paint over here to create some fog or make this background and the cloud mix, or the ground and the cloud mix, and take the sample from another area. So this is how we can create this atmosphere or magical atmosphere. And let me create a solid color and press OK. Change this layer blend mode to soft light, and let's lower down its opacity maybe, but okay, let's leave it like this. And turn this ship on, which is over here, and let me place it maybe on a proper position over here, and press Ctrl T to just scale it up little bit and place it something like this. And now create a layer mask, and using the brush tool, softest brush with the black color this time, and increase the opacity to 50% and start painting on this area to remove this hard edge so that it get mixed with the ground. And zoom in, and to remove this hard edge as well, something like this. And then create another blank layer, call it shadow. So we are going to create the shadow of the aeroplane, and with the black color soft edge brush, 10% opacity, we are going to paint in over here. Yes, and paint the shadows, make the area a little darker. And this is the cloud. Let's make it blurry. Go to the filter, blur. Okay, first of all, right click and choose rasterize this layer, and right click and select apply layer mask. Then go to the, let me first clear some RAM. Go to the filter and choose blur gallery, or let's go to the simple lens blur, and increase the radius to something like this, 47 or 62 or 72. I think that's fine. Press OK, and now we see this is fine. Press Ctrl T, and let's resize this little bit up, this cloud layer, and let's bring the boy in. So this is the person, this is Hukum, and I have extracted it. This person's name is Hukum, and let me zoom in. Let me place it over here because we want him to sit over here, and let's reposition it on a proper place and press enter. And you can see now this one is looking good, but we need to paint in the shadows. So we'll create another blank layer and we'll call it shadow Hukum, so that we can track it easily. Again, with the brush tool, soft as brush with the black color, 10% opacity, we are going to paint in on this side. We are going to make this area a little darker. Okay, and let's select this layer and create a duplicate copy of it, call it reflection, because we want that little bit reflection. Control T and drag this anchor point down and select the screw or the distort and click and drag it to this side, maybe over here, and press enter. And now go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur and make it blurry to something like this and press OK. And let's rasterize this layer and lower down its opacity, change this layer blend mode to soft light and create a layer mask, and with the black color remove it from the ground, let it be only in the water, and remove certain part from the water as well, little bit, and lower down its opacity maybe even further, and save your work. And we are going to adjustment, curves adjustment, and we'll drag it down and make sure we select this clipping mask and drag it down, and we'll select the layer mask again with the brush tool with the white color this time, or the black color this time, because we don't want this area to be that dark, and we can paint in. So we'll create another adjustment layer. This is again curves adjustment and drag it up, clipping mask, select this clipping mask, select the mask, Control I to invert it, and with the white color this time we are going to paint in some highlights. And paint on little bit on the clothes as well, and this is how you can dose and burn. Little bit we are going to bring little bit highlights, and let's zoom in. Paint in over here. And select this boy, and there is problem, so we'll create a mask, and with the black color 100% opacity we are going to remove this spot and little bit from here and little bit this one and on the knees. Okay, and this one is looking good, and let me reposition it and select the curves and keep on painting. And let me switch back it to the white color, otherwise it will not work. Basically I am painting wherever I am able to see the highlights, right? So you can see the difference by turning it on and off. Now go to the adjustment, select this curve color balance and make sure it's clipping mask and adjust the mid-tone to match the colors of the background. So you can experiment with it and go to the shadows and do the same with that. Add some cyan, add some magenta or green, and you can adjust all of these sliders until you see the same result or it mixes up with the background. Change it to the highlights and do the same with that as well. And you can see now this one is looking much better. And let's zoom in to see and create another blank layer above it. Change this layer blend mode to overlay, and we are calling it light, and we'll select this white color soft as brush with 100% opacity, and we are going to select this less saturated orange color and we are going to paint in over here and bring this light down, which is above this or below this ship, and drag it over here, and you can see now it's behind the ship. Press Ctrl T or plane and scale it up little bit so that it gets spread. Reposition it to something like this and select the white color, paint here once, and you can see, let me just undo it and make the opacity smaller 20% and then paint the white. Let's change the color to again orange, and let's create another layer above the light and call it fog, and we'll select this fog or smoke brush and select the white color and make sure the opacity is 10% and flow as well 10%, and keep on painting over here, and it's going to build up this fog effect. Slowly you have to paint again and again or number of times to get this result. However, you can paint in with the large opacity and then you can blur that out. Okay, so let me select the shadows and let's select the brush tool, soft as brush with 10% opacity, and paint on this side, because on this side shadow has to be there because light is coming from the right side. Increase the opacity, adjust the opacity, and then paint in. So let's make this area a little darker. And save your work. And let's select this top layer and create a gradient map and select this gradient. Press OK. Change layer blend mode to soft light and bring down the opacity, maybe around something like this, 16%, and you can see the difference. Go to the adjustment, select the photo filter, changes this to, let's say, green, and you can increase its density with this slider, and you can see. Go to the adjustment, select the curves adjustment and increase highlight and drop the shadows little bit and drag it up this point, and over here change it to the red color and bring down some red from the highlights and drag it little bit down from the shadows as well. Select the green, add green in the highlight little bit, or let's drop it down or leave it something here, and drag it up in the shadows little bit green. change it to the blue and add some blue in the shadows little bit and drag it down from the highlights, or let's add little bit, maybe something like this, and you can see the difference by turning it on and off. And create a stamp copy by pressing Ctrl Alt Shift E, and then go to the filter, Nik Collection, and select Color EFX Pro. And once it is launched, we'll select the cross processing and we'll select or browse through all of these filters and select which one you like. So I'll think I'll go with this one, and you can, let's make it 25%, and then you can press compare to see the result before and after. Okay, and let me just change another one, maybe this one, and I think this one is looking good to me. I can change its strength, so I can lower down its strength and press OK. And there is a problem with this one, so let me apply this once again, and now it is going to apply over here. So there was a problem setting with the Nik collection, and you can see the difference by turning it on and off. Create another layer above it, fill it with 50% gray, change its layer blend mode to overlay, and zoom in, and with the dose color or dose tool, paint on the highlights on the face, and you can see we have to bring out some details in the highlights. And on this side, on this top as well, so quickly paint in everywhere. And you can see the result. And let's select the burn tool and paint on the shadow areas, and let's make shoes little less bright with the burn tool, and this one as well. So let me select the adjustment layer, brightness and contrast, bring down the brightness, or let me just select the curves adjustment and drag it down to create something like this, and press Ctrl I to invert it, and brush tool, select the brush tool and select the first of all brush tool with soft edge brush and with 100% flow, paint in on the shoes so that they become darker and they don't become that bright. Okay, and you can see and let's lower down the opacity of the dose and burn layer, which is over here, and we can check the difference. and create a stamp copy and change its layer blend mode to linear light. Go to the filter, other, and select the high pass, and let's choose the radius 1.1 and press OK and zoom in. Now it has made this sharper, and lower down the opacity, or let's something like this, and create a layer mask and remove it from the face little bit. So this is our final result. You can see the preview.
So thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, please do let me know in the comment section below. If you liked today's episode, hit the like button. If you did not like the video, hit the dislike button. If you have any question or comment, leave that in the comment section below. And if you want $439 premium courses absolutely free, just go to my website harshvardhanart.com and just sign up to my newsletter. So thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next episode. Till then, keep shooting, keep creating something awesome.